Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, morning or afternoon, wherever you happen to be, to the Overwatch Watchers Brawl. I'm 3.007, joined by Sir Waltham.
Hello, everybody. Good to be back.
We are here for a losers bracket match tonight, with Rebind Shift and Winter Solstice going at it to determine who is going to advance to the losers bracket round 4 against Team Micrack.
Yeah, certainly look forward to seeing both teams bring it and see which one's potentially going to be moving on and which one's going to be departing with us for this tournament.
Now, before we jump into the action, we have Sir Waltham with, again, another pre-game interview.
Yes, today I do have Silverstar, a player for Winter Solstice. Silverstar, why don't you go ahead and say hello?
Hey.
How's it going today? How are you guys feeling about your games moving forward?
Good, pretty good. We don't have as many substitutes as last game, so we definitely are more confident, I think, this game. But I still think we're going to do pretty well.
Fantastic. If I remember right, you guys had like 4 substitutes.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty hard to pull off, but we did it, so.
Well, that's ultimately what matters in these situations. So I typically like to ask what our team's reasons for getting into this tournament were.
I'm not exactly fully sure, but my team does like the style of it and how there's like loser bracket, winners bracket, and that even though we fell behind in the first match, we've still won a few games and now we're coming back. And we just like the tournament style.
Yeah, certainly. I guess, is there anything, have you guys been studying Rebind Shift at all? Is there anything you're going to be keeping an eye out for? Any tactics you're kind of keeping in mind?
We looked at a few things. We don't expect too much though, like comp-wise, because people can always change things up on the spot. We play more around like our team and what we like to do, and if something doesn't work, we can swap it off.
Absolutely. Look forward to seeing a little bit of that flexibility as usual. Now, where are some areas that you think your team has really kind of grown over these? Obviously, getting knocked out the first time and then having to climb back up the losers bracket. That shows at least a semblance of growth. Where do you think you guys have been most proficient in that?
I think synergy. Definitely, we've always been a team full of synergy. We've been really good at like communicating to each other, and we don't really focus on just like SR things, as some of the previous members have said. We're definitely based more on like synergy and communication and being flexible around each other, and I think that's what is helping us do as well as we are now.
Well, hopefully we can see that synergy come out and come through. We're going to be hopping onto King's Row, as we know that's a map that plays very tightly. How are you? What are your feelings for that? Are you guys anticipating perhaps going to have to go against some goats?
We aren't sure because they didn't run too much goats, and if we do, we have some counters for that if they do run goats. So I think we'll be fine. We have some strategies to work with on King's Row that we've just planned up, so hopefully we're doing good on that.
Well, thank you very much, Silverstar. We look forward to seeing you and your team perform incredibly highly in this game. Thank you for your time and being able to answer a few questions for us.
Yep, thank you.
And with that being said, as I did mention, folks, we are going to be hopping onto King's Row. Now, what are your thoughts on this map overall?
We've seen a lot of King's Row today, the last few days. Again, the whole tournament, map pools and whatnot. So, Rebind Shift and Winter Solstice. Now, Rebind Shift is going to be starting out on defense. Winter Solstice, again, they're going to have to set the pace. This is a losers bracket match, and Winter Solstice has had to slug through one more match than Rebind Shift, who only got knocked in, after getting dethroned by Maximize Gaming, who is an incredibly difficult team to go up against. So, Rebind Shift might be coming out swinging. They might be picking up a few strats from that map, but we are going to have to see who is going to be the outcome here. I think Winter Solstice has their work cut out for them.
Absolutely. One thing I'm excited for was we did see Pyro last time we saw Rebind Shift play this map. We saw Pyro on that Hammond having mines up almost every fight, getting some massive Pyro drivers, as I started to call them, being played on that Hammond. Just it seemed overall proficient, and I'm anxious to see if this Winter Solstice is going to be able to defend against that as efficiently as we've seen in the past.
Yeah, that'll be definitely a little tricky. So, King's Row, and there it is, boom, it's coming out. We see the Hammond. Waltham, your wish is granted. This promises to be an incredible defense, as they have no shield. It is going to be a Diva Hammond dual tank combo. They are going to be very angry, very punchy, going up against what looks like the Rebind Winter Solstice on a pharmacy, not currently showing any shields of their own, also running the Diva Hammond.
Yeah, really the only two differences in these teams, that Pharah versus Hanzo, and then the Mercy for the Pharah being subbed for the Lucio, played by Chump. So we're going to have to see how these teams shake out with these comps.
All right, we have the Kaboshi on the Sombra going into stealth and going around the corner right into Hotel. Let's see what they can from it. They're going to suss out the enemy team's comp. And here we go. Pyro comes in with the boops. He's going to be swooping away, but he's caught out. He's anti-needed almost immediately slept. They know exactly. And Kamina gets ripped apart by Vapori on the Pharah. That could be an opening. It's difficult to tell. Sombra not always the best defender. And there it is. Crazy Cat now on a hand of their own. Kaboshi picks up NKN. Nailed it is going to grab Vapori with an excellent use of those grab rockets. That's going to slightly even the fight, but it's going to be a nope. Now it's a 3v4. Unbelievable, driving me to choking as this defense starts to mount, with Pyro doing incredible work on the Hammond.
Indeed, it was really going kind of back and forth there. Pyro once again showing a little bit of dominance on this Hammond, perhaps getting a little displaced on that first push, but still able to recover, still able to maintain.
Waltham, what was it you said? Mines every fight? Pyro is already 90% to his mines with 3 minutes left on King's Row. Unbelievable. That's the kind of performance that makes you think, holy moly, where is this person coming from? But now the pharmacy's in the sky.
Yeah, we're definitely going to want to see this Pharah playing very close to Hotel, trying to really utilize those angles. Community getting pulled out early, going to be crucial.
Yeah, again, we're going to see that Sombra on the defense possibly taking a little too many risks. They do get pretty close to their grab. There's Pyro with those mines, taking out that Diva. We're going to see a bomb go down on the point. They are going to pick up the Mercy. Great defensive Diva bomb. Still some ults left for the defense. Even more mines catching up their Hammond counterpart.
Yeah, Crazy Cat not looking like they can keep up quite with the ults that Pyro has been able to lay down. Pyro almost halfway to another set of minefields. Crazy Cat still working on building that first. So if you're looking strictly at tank play, Crazy Cat could perhaps take a few notes from Pyro, see what the angles they're trying to work on.
So it looks like Dragons are going to come out early. There goes a big Dragons. That's going to D-Max Savitar and the Diva. That's enough. If you're going to commit one ult to a fight win, that's going to be the ult to commit. They do. Oh, and KN! His Dragons gets eaten. But no, that's not the kill feed is a little confusing. And here we go. We see really solid performance from Rebind Shift there with ults left in the bank.
Yeah, and despite all this talk about Pyro, there are certainly some other major plays that the other players on Team Rebind Shift have been able to pull off on King's Row. Most notably, the Sombra EMP, as well as nailed it with that Diva self-destruct, getting some massive kills, usually 3 or 4 at a time. Haven't seen that combo come out, but definitely keep an eye out for it.
To Winter Solstice's credit, though, they have a literal ult apocalypse coming online. There goes the grab. There goes the Valkyrie. No kills yet. Here comes a Diva bomb onto the point. No one's there. Even the EMP came out, but nothing happened. And now we're seeing the barriers coming in with kills coming in from either side. It looks like almost every single ultimate from Winter Solstice didn't get met with anything. And despite that, they are going to be racking up kills, which is huge for their spawn advantage.
Yeah, even if the attacking team Solstice right now does take it, it's going to be tough. And we're going to be seeing the respawn advantage come in for the Winter Solstice, as you had alluded to earlier. But it's still going to be a tough push, even because it looks like Team Rebind Shift is going to get the regroup.
And it's huge. There comes the Dragons onto the point. They're not going to catch the arrow, but they're going to catch the on, and KN grabs them as they're unable to get out. Also, the DMAC with some extra arrows into the mix. That's going to be some boops. And wow, Rebind Shift is really making it plain. They're not going to give up point A without a fight.
Yeah, Vapori really kind of having their teeth pulled by this composition right now. It looks like nailed it on the Diva, as well as Pyro using that more accurate hit scan tank. Just really going to be applying a lot of pressure into the sky.
That's it. Winter Solstice can't get back onto the point, and Rebind Shift has an incredible hold on point A for King's Row.
Yeah, overall, you think that Rebind Shift definitely has to be pretty content with what they need to accomplish, getting just a little bit under half to get the round win.
I don't think there was not a single shield deployed on that map. Not a Brigitte, not a Reinhardt, not an Arisa. That was one of the most refreshing rounds of Overwatch I've ever had the pleasure to witness. But I am going to say that I don't think it was a very pleasurable round for Winter Solstice. They definitely have their work cut out for them. They did manage to take 48%, so if they can do a hold here, instead of drawing, they will win the map.
Yeah, they certainly have their work cut out for them. Winter Solstice was still looking to really have to put in some solid defenses. They cannot give up a tick because that provides only 15% point capture wiggle room after that point.
It would be a very dire situation for them indeed, and it looks like Rebind Shift is going to make that as much of a dire situation as possible. They're still going with a very punchy no shields comp, running that Hammond and the Diva, but it also looks like they're going to throw a Symmetra in the mix. If they're not debating us, then they're definitely going to be using that teleporter to some devastating ends. Yep, and we got debated. And it looks like, however, it's going to be an even punchier comp, a Tracer in this meta?
Yeah, they are going to have to be very careful working around both Doomhugger and Kabashi. Both having that stun potential can be very detrimental to a Tracer's lifespan.
So they see nothing. They're coming around the corner. They've got the Mei on sights. They know that's coming. Kaboshi with NKN dropping them with a well-placed shot to the head of a Tracer. That's the way you want that push to start. What a great start to a 3 minutes. But again, the meta is now on point. Wow, holy moly, Pyro got melted so quickly. I was about to say something about a spawn advantage, but I think Winter Solstice said it for me.
Yeah, certainly. And right now, Kaboshi looking like the dominant player this time around. Looking at ult charges, just absolutely built up right now. However, worth noting that Rebind Shift, due to their quick ability to respawn, gonna have the option to change a lot of heroes up, and it looks like they're gonna take advantage.
So it's possible a no shields versus no shields is the way to go, but when you run no shields against shields, then it's going to be a problem. Pyro takes out Vapori early on. Huge loss for Winter Solstice to lose that character. And then there's the Brigitte. Huge sustain gone. Crazy Cat goes down. Kamina falls to a headshot from Kaboshi, but they're going to get answered by the Hanzo with tree trunk arrows. And that's going to be it. Rebind Shift is going to take this point with nary so much as a how do you do?
Yeah, really overall, Pyro doing a lot of work on that Zarya to really apply the damage and really just kind of clean up whatever big swings from Reinhardt or whatever major hits from Hanzo or what have you come through. Really just kind of capitalizing and getting, I think, closing at least 3 or 4 of those kills in the last fight.
Yeah, now I'm super impressed. We were calling out Pyro a lot. I love that Crazy Cat is the Hammond who gets the play of the game here, because they definitely did some work. They had their ult going at the time. They did some crazy use of cooldowns. They made sure their point presence was, as they say, on point. So really solid Hammond play from both sides, but it's pretty clear to see that, Rebind Shift did their duty on King Show.
Yes, and with that being said, that does mean that Winter Solstice has their choice of maps from our pool here. I'm curious as to what their choice will be, considering it's hard to read it's hard to read what the team is proficient at when you run such an unusual comp like the Hammond.
Yeah, having just knowing that you have the potential to run up against that, the maps that you can choose are super crazy. Hammond has some great entries on almost every map, and it's super difficult to stop that pile driver from just racking up incredible damage. And in a dive composition that they ran on King's Rose, that first assault and that first defense, it's just a really bad situation to be in sometimes.
Yeah, last time we did see Pyro get subbed out, but curious to see if they're going to be staying in for this fight to maintain some Hammond dominance, or if there's perhaps some tank flexibility coming out of them. But overall, Winter Solstice is going to be a little bit pressed to find a strong map given the difficulty of reads.
Yeah, and it seems like they're actually going to be taking their time, carefully considering what their map should be, and rightfully so, as again, this is a loser's bracket match, which means whoever ducks out of this match today is going to say goodbye to the Overwatch Watchers Brawl January for good. They might be back next season. We'll see. Who knows? But that being said, we're all waiting with bated breath to see what Winter Solstice comes out with. But remember, of course, whatever they go with, Rebind Shift is going, unless it is a King of the Hill map, going to pick their side.
Absolutely, and Rebind Shift could still change it up on us and say that they want to stick on to a red side, or they want to change on to red side if it is King of the Hill, although generally that doesn't provide too much advantage or disadvantage.
I'm sure there's someone out there who prefers running onto a right or left side. Oh, it looks like despite the Chat, we are going to see Winter Solstice has in fact picked Lijiang Tower. Rebind Shift is going to stick onto the blue. Again, since this is King of the Hill, doesn't really matter, but hey, I'm sure, again, there's someone out there who likes it, and we're looking out for you. But they are going to be sticking onto these sides. We are going to be giving the go-ahead, and it's onto Lijiang Tower. Waltham, there's a lot of different cops they can run on this map.
Yes, there certainly are a lot that are viable. One thing I feel pretty confident in saying Winter Solstice might pull out is going to be Vapori on that Pharah. I've noticed that within the last couple of games we've casted for them, they seem typically pretty quick to pull out Pharah. I'm thinking if we go to the, I believe it's the Gardens map, we'll be seeing that.
Yeah, Gardens is a dirty, nasty situation. And in that particular situation, woof. Lijiang Tower has never been one of my super favorite maps, but I always love running the control center. Just for that, it's the indoors map. It's the Ryan Zarya combo. You get to have some super fun, and I always like seeing it.
And as I mentioned earlier, folks, it seems like we will be seeing a switch out. Pyro going to be taken out for X Feral. So curious to see. It doesn't seem like they're intent on running the Hammond. Peculiar, because this, if they run Gardens, very high boot potential map.
I don't disagree with the pullout. X4L has a wide proficiency with heroes. They're a really solid off tank, but they also have the ability to drop into that Ana. It's possible they could be looking for X to possibly, flex a little, maybe drop into some support.
Are you telling me 3 Point that we might see some flex feral right now? Is that the what you're trying to convey to me?
Why do I do this? Why do I leave myself open like that? I totally deserve that, and thank goodness we are for Lijiang Tower starting up. Flex for real, we'll see what happens, but for now we are going to be starting on the... Is this market? This is market.
Night markets, yes.
Night market. I despise this map. Ugh.
It's one of those maps that has a lot of boot, like an incredible amount of boot potential, but not from Pharahs. And I think that this is one of the few maps that really kind of has this potential. Usually other maps like Well, even the side half of Ruins, you see there's not a lot of cover above them, so the Pharahs are still able to get a lot of concussion blast capabilities or angles, but with this, the point's all contained within a gazebo, so I highly doubt we'll be seeing a lot of that.
And it doesn't always lend itself to that Pharmacy combo. Again, both teams bringing out neither a Pharah nor a Mercy. But we are going to be seeing potentially some pretty interesting situations. Rebind Shift, of course, they're probably not going to stick with that Toblerone, but, who knows. Meanwhile, back on Winter Solstice, running the McCree with the Reaper, with this new meta, I have no idea how that will turn out, but I imagine the Reaper will be pretty self-sufficient.
Yeah, it looks like Rebind Shift will be foregoing the Reaper in exchange for, it looks like, well, there's a bunch of different changes, but they will not be running the Reaper is the important part. So we'll see how this Reaper played by Vapori going to be doing pushing into this composition here.
Reaper's shield bake potential is second to none of any character in the Overwatch League, even Bastion. So we're going to see Nailed Its Shield be one of the resources to watch here, and there it is. Savitar picks up NKN as that shield goes down. His right click and maybe left click goes back into the backlines. Major source of damage gone for Rebind Shift, but Crazy Cat's going to fall, and now Rebind Shift is somehow taking the stage with kill after kill after kill, despite losing a major source of damage early on.
Yeah, there was one sleep dart that hit onto, I believe it was Kamina, however got woken up at the very end, and that Zenyatta, aside from just being able to potentially put out a lot of lethal damage onto the team imposing onto him, just would not be able to relocate that Discord orb. If he's asleep, obviously, so you'd like to have seen him stay asleep.
Yeah, it's a rough situation, and of course, especially if you're that Ana and you get that perfect sleep dart. But here we go now, a rally. That's going to be big, and there's the barriers going into a grab, and kills are going to start coming in major. That's going to be amazing for Rebind Shift, who takes full advantage of almost every hero's ability in their repertoire to get a team kill.
Yeah, I do not think that Winter Solstice was necessarily ready for X Feral to have that Zarya grab up and online as quick as they did. You look at Savitar's charge, and it's only about 80%, even after that team fight, which still was pretty expedient.
Yeah, meanwhile, we're looking at Xfriel. They've been maintaining a very, very solid, almost 100% charge, making use of both of those bubbles as much as they possibly can. And here we go, Big Shatter goes into a barrier, and it's nothing. Shatter goes out in return, nothing happens, and there's a humongous Deadeye! NKN kills Kaboshi, and then Deadeye's the rest of the team. Another massive team kill for Rebind Shift as they mount towards 60% and counting.
Yeah, and it's really surprising to see the Reaper not be as utilized as he could be here, especially since they're fighting in what seemed to be, at least initially, these very tight, confined spaces where he'd be landing a lot of those shots, barrel stuffing enemies. But that ult from NKN just could not be undersold.
Yeah, that was pretty disgusting. I have a feeling we'll see Kaboshi drop a pretty zoning night, rather, high noon here. Here we go, he's coming up from high noon. He is actually going to not get anything, and NKN is going to turn, say this town ain't big enough for the duels. Kaboshi is the one who leaves Lijiang Night Market alone, and Vapori getting caught out. He's gonna get focused down.
Yeah, if they are lucky, Winter Solstice will have one more attempt to even touch point. But it looks like that will be a far send. And with the grab coming out from Xfriel again, that's not even going to be an option.
Oof. In this particular meta, I'm genuinely surprised at how Reaper is being handled. Which is to say, it's interesting they're not making as much as an impact as I thought, possibly because they're sticking with their team and not venturing on their own.
Yeah, and really when it comes to Reaper, the hard enemy of Reaper is any CC and range. McCree and Brig both able to just kind of stun him in place, and with McCree, if you stun him, he has a pretty large head hitbox, at least it certainly feels like it, so you're able to land a headshot or just fan the hammer. Either way, the Reaper's going to go down.
Yeah, given the strength of Fan the Hammer these days and Reaper's genuinely large hitboxes, as you mentioned, woof. And here we're now going to see a very standard Zenyatta goats come out from Rebind Shift and a Junkrat coming out. Really interesting comp from Winter Solstice. This could be just what the Doctor ordered. They have a good shot comp-wise to take this point.
Yeah, NKN going to be foregoing the Diva in exchange for that McCree. Perhaps still in preparation for that, for that Reaper that we saw.
And there it is, Vapori on the Junkrat, picking up kill already, turning it into a 6v5 before the fight really is joined. And evening the odds though, taking out their counterpart, possibly even looking for them, making sure that there's no hit scan on the other side. And wow, they were definitely taking advantage of that headshot with Discord onto Ana. That Zenyatta showing their worth, making sure that every hit counts from Rebind Shift.
Yeah, and there was almost no kills in that fight because Zenyatta did not have their fingers in, either be it through a Discord or through actual direct damage. Those orbs really can give you a big old goose egg when they hit you in the forehead.
Yeah, I love Rebind Shift going up for the choke here. Winter Solstice, however, with that Junkrat and now already barriers and Nano coming in, I think they have a good solid composition to counter this really dangerous comp. NKN taking a cheeky right flank. He's gonna pick up Kaboshi with that Discord. I really like that angle. I've never seen this before. Really clever. Love it. Boom! Big Shatter comes in. Gonna get a lot of members. Barriers is gonna come in though and is gonna keep anyone from going down. That's a massive Shatter from Crazy Cat. I love it. Here comes the high noon. Wham! It's gonna get Crazy Cat, but not before an anti-mated Shatter is gonna get most of the members of Rebind Shift down.
Yeah, nailed it, perhaps getting a little bit too bold, leaving their team behind, unable to prevent Crazy Cat getting that Earth Shatter, which they were able to build off the back of that Nano by Doomhooker. So overall, just it's kind of a house of dominoes in that situation.
Yeah, Kaboshi gonna drop up a zoning high noon. Nailed it's gonna rip apart Vapori, and then they're also gonna get that grab in. Unfortunately, Winter Solstice not able to capitalize on that advantage that they had with the ultimates that they had in store.
Yeah, and the focus fire really there for the point defending team, as we saw Crazy Cat getting stuck into that grab, and as soon as the shield goes down, gets burnt within a half a second. It was rather expeditious.
Super rough situation to be in again, and now we're gonna see some interesting ults. Vapori's gonna drop their tire early. No combo coming to come with it. It's gonna pop. It's not gonna get anything. Stavitar with the grab, possibly just waiting just a little longer, maybe turn that into an incredible play. Instead, we're gonna see Ash's Dynamite come out, not really do a lot, going into a trance. Massive Shatter going in, gonna grab Stavitar. He's gonna fall. Vapori is gonna pick up a kill, but ultimately Rebind Shift is gonna maintain dominance. It was really a one-fight game, possibly even no chance left.
Something we don't see very often. A double Rhine kill on one another. Crazy Cat nailed it, going to be taking out one another. And it's not going to matter in the end. I think that Rebind Shift was quite aware of that. As long as they take out that Reinhardt, that's one less person that the enemy team will be able to push behind.
Yeah, again, the control tower, I love doing that spawn choke hold there. It's just so filthy. It's a really nasty place. As far as the map goes, just charging into that situation as the attacker, not having control of the point, rough times. Super rough times.
Yeah, overall, I still think that we saw the team Winter Solstice still give it a pretty good effort, and it looked like there were definitely some moments where the thought processes were there. It just may have required a little bit more refining or something along those lines. But overall, going to be very content with the gameplay I saw early on. Anyway.
Oh yeah, ultimate combinations aside, and we are going to see, Rebind Shift moving on with Winter Solstice saying goodbye for now. However, we have again a special treat. We are going to be seeing Hacks coming in for the interview, the post game. Excellent support play. Hacks, congratulations.
Thank you.
So, going into this match, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good today. I've been having a pretty good day.
Nice.
So,
So, after taking on Winter Solstice and winning this match, you're going to be going up against Team Mike Rec. What are your feelings about that match?
I myself have not actually gotten a chance to see them play, although they did go against a team we've already gone against, right? They went against Maximized Gaming
Oh yeah.
recently. Yeah. Uh, I feel like if we can take on Team Mike Rec, then after this we just have the semifinals, right?
So after
So
Team Mike Rec, there's loser bracket round 5, and then there's actually losers bracket round 6. So
okay.
3 matches ahead. Now, looking at Team Mike Rec, and again, you guys had some really interesting punch comps. What were your thoughts going into King's Row with no shields?
So this is a composition we've been running since I joined the team about 6 months ago almost, and it's the Hammond Diva dive. We spent a lot of times coordinating the EMP bombs, and it used to be Nanoblade, but sometimes we run Hanzo instead. So we're really reliant on our coordination, and it works out really well for us just because we've had so much time to work on this sort of thing together.
Oh, the proficiency absolutely shows. As you've been playing Overwatch, how do you find your role shifting through the competitive seasons as the meta changes?
Well, I started out playing casually as just a flex player, but as soon as the LFG came out, I got really interested in competitive play and started playing DPS that was season 10. So that was basically the first time I joined a team, and it was quite a bit of fun actually to get to really start playing one role. But I found that I wasn't really going anywhere, so around season 12, I think, I switched over to being a support main, and I've just been having a lot of fun on it ever since, and climbed quite far since then in the ladder.
As far as video games go, I would say fun is the primary factor, and you've definitely been seeing the success as a result. Congratulations, Hacks, to your team's victory. We're looking forward to seeing you guys against Team Mike Rec.
Thank you.
This has been the Overwatch Watchers Brawl. This is the last game for Saturday. I finally get to go to bed, but we're going to see you guys tomorrow on Sunday for 2 more matches. I've been 3.007. You can catch me on Twitter and Twitch at 3.007.
And likewise, I've been Sir Waltham. Catch me on Twitter at Sir Waltham Gaming, and Twitch at Sir Waltham.
Looking forward to seeing everyone tomorrow on the glorious Sunday. Thanks for tuning in, and have a good night.
Thanks, everybody.